It is Fabledom, the new game that just came out today in early access.
It's been almost 2 centuries since I had a visitor. Do excuse the mess. It piles up over the years, you know.
And it has narration. It really feels like it gives me Princess Bride and maybe a bit of Hobbit vibes. Very cute, cozy game. Played the demo and liked that, and excited to give it a try now. So we're going to do a new game.
Ah, it's a story you want.
And just listen. Love that. We're going to choose a realm. Before the story can begin, you need to choose which realm you want it to take place in. Click any realm on the map to view its properties. To generate a new map, click the dice at the top left of your screen, or enter a custom seed. So that's actually pretty amazing. It creates random maps. And I've always been a huge fan of random maps in any game I play. It's an enormous plus because it does so much for the replayability and open-endedness and sense of exploration and adventure. And it's just nice to know that in the future you can do another replay and it'll be different.
The little unicorn that could? He couldn't. I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's not a happy tale.
That has some funny humor in there. Alright, so we can do standard, build and manage your kingdom, explore your realm to find new secrets and rule through love or war. Or creative, everything unlocked and free, and no construction times, with a focus only on being creative. And I really love it that both of those options exist, but we definitely want to pick standard.
How the tune goes. 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that familiar to you? Can you help me with that? I think there's a word bludgeon in the title. I can't remember. Bludgeon. No, that's not it. Got it.
I love the narrator. It just, you don't even know.
Perhaps interest you in some vintage rainwater? Freshly skimmed?
You don't even know anything about the game or anything about this narrator, and yet it just feels cozy and funny and humorous, like a fairy tale would be. All right, so what realm are we going to do? I'll click that one. Realm size medium, hills normal, forest is light, oceans medium. So they have different sort of geographical qualities. I kind of feel like I like the idea of a dense forest. Is there any dense forest? This one is Sofutria or Grueth. I don't know. I think we're gonna go with that one. Grueth. I like the sound of it. Okay, and we can pick a name, whatever we want. So okay, we're going to be the Raccoon Republic. If that's going to let us use that many characters, it will. All right, it's going to be the Raccoon Republic. I'm a prince looking for a princess, and my name is well, what is my name? You know, I really feel like in these games, the hardest thing is picking a name because somehow it just feels important, and you can't take it lightly.
Well, This is starting to get a bit awkward, isn't it?
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be Howard Raccoon as my character. Because Howard is my name. My last name, that is, in real life. And this is all about
You
being as
picked
raccoony
my
as possible.
favorite.
Because I like raccoons. And here we have the book, the fairy story.
Once upon a time, it goes, a story told of love and woes, when all the kings and queens of yore sent forth their children to explore.
Very nice.
New lands of plenty, fields and trees, fertile, yielding, birds and bees. It's your turn, prince or princess you. Discover, conquer, daring do. Remember, friend, 'tis not just sword that makes one lady or a lord. To build a kingdom, 'tis an art, but don't neglect your spirit's heart. Through love or war, these lands ignited shall ever after be united. Now go. Be kind, be cruel, be scrappy, and make your ever after happy.
Very cute indeed. I really love the artwork. I think it's amazing. It really fits that vibe of a polished fairy tale land. And I think that theme is extremely pleasant. So couldn't say enough positive about the way the game just draws you in from the very beginning and makes you feel like you're part of something special. We have a nice little objective menu that tells us how to move around, how to scroll, how to zoom out, and how to rotate. We can do that with Q, E, Z, C. All of that works out just great. Love it. And the mouse controls are quite smooth. We have our 4 little villagers here. Now, one of the first things I always look at is can you rename the villagers, or are they set? Looks like you can't. As far as I can tell, you can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. Anyway, we get 10
Where
gold.
were we? Oh, yes. Our kingdom began with little more than a humble laborer's hut. Now, where did that go again? Let's see here.
Okay. Build 5 gravel road. Build a laborer's hut. Assign a laborer. That's our mission. And so we're going to build a laborer's hut. That's going to let us build some things. And we can rotate with R. That makes a lot of sense. Left click to place, right click to cancel. Left shift to place several. How does that work? No, I'll have to experiment with that. That's interesting. All right, so where are we going to do this? Laborer's hut. What do we got here? We have, zoom out and take a look at the lay of the land. We have water over there. We have water, bit of water over there. Okay. Well, I don't have any particular plan for where I want to put it, so we're gonna put it right there. That'll do. That'll be just fine. A workplace requires Fabelings to operate. You can assign Fabelings by clicking any of the available plus slots or by clicking Manage Workers. And there's our available workers: Matilda, Tony, Robert, and Cecilia. All right. Well, let's send Tony. Tony, you go work over there at the laborer's hut. We could build 2. All right. And if you click that box, it just picks a random person, whoever's available. Now we need to build 5 gravel road. And there it is. And it tells us how to do it. Fablings will always try to follow roads to their best ability. Connecting roads to the blue arrow indicators will help guide them. Okay. So we want to connect them, yes. And there we have it. We've laid a little bit of road. And what is our next objective? Our next objective is to build a homestead. And we can build the homestead with a little yard around it. After placing the homestead, hold and drag to place the foundation. Attachments are placed automatically by default, or if you prefer, you can disable that and place them manually. And we can see what direction it's pointed by that little blue arrow. Very nice. We'll build our little house right here. Built the little house, and now we need to build the foundation around the little house. Now, 2x2 is big enough, but we can build as big as 2x3. Now, I don't know if there's a benefit to giving them a little bit bigger yard or not, but I do like the idea of giving them some space. So now we've built that, and Tony is on his way over to get started. Now, I will say this game, on the surface, resembles Foundation in many ways. In the sense that it's a colony builder that gives you individual agents that you can use to control your supply chain. And it's a cozy, chill, sort of a peaceful game that's not meant to be difficult as much as it's meant to be fun. But I will say that what stands out is that while Foundation is focused on the same time period, it doesn't really have any set theme the way Fabledom does. Fabledom really feels like it's a fairy tale land.
Yippee! This is where your fablings live and eat. A head of household is required for the homestead to operate smoothly. Now, make sure one has been assigned, won't you?
All right. That's very nice. So we need to assign a head of household. Manage household. Head of household is Robert Humphrey. And it shows right there with a little house icon. We have 3 people living here. And if the fabling that takes up residence has no job, it will be assigned automatically. A head of household will make sure the home is stocked with food and any other resources required to keep the fablings happy. Good. Now we need to build a well. And the well has an area of effect. Some buildings only affect a specific area indicated by the blue shape. Make sure the affected objects are inside the area. Easy enough. Well, we'll put the well right there at the end of the road. About like that. Some buildings require upkeep to stay in good condition. To see when the next payment is due, hover the coin icon at the top of your screen. There it is. Okay, so it tells us our upkeep fee. Quite good. Matilda's coming over here to build it. We still have some materials in the cart, so we're doing all right. And then we need to finish building a second homestead. We could build a lumber camp. We've unlocked a few decorations. Looks like some nice decor. So we'll do a second homestead. Where should we put it? We'll put it right there. And then There we have a second yard with a little dog house there. Quite nice. Our next objective is to welcome new Fabledings. So we're going to have some more people coming to town. I imagine so. In any case, Fabledom feels a lot more polished at first glance than Foundation, but spiritually they feel like quite similar games. The villagers are also kind of that sort of a cartoony, cute but a bit indescript sort of a look. I think all in all, the art style of Fabledom looks better and feels better than Foundation. Foundation feels a bit more, perhaps more in depth.
Finally,
But
here come our first newcomers. As long as you keep your population happy, more will want to join. As long as there is room, of course. Welcome, welcome.
every 10 days, visitors will arrive at your borders if your kingdom seems desirable. You need to decide who you want to allow in. So again, going back to Foundation, the way this works is almost completely identical. If your kingdom's running well, then more visitors will continually arrive and you can welcome them in. So spiritually, these are similar games, but in terms of theme, they are different enough, I think, to give each other a real run for the money. I do think, though, at a glance, I feel more excited about Fabledom than I felt about Foundation. Though I really do like both games. I think both games are amazing. And I think that this concept of little town city builders that emulate a society of kind of free agent but individual agent villagers that you can just watch and keep track of. I think that's really nice, and I think it's been something long missing in the city-town colony building genre, because there's a few games that have done something kind of similar in the colony building space, like maybe Surviving Mars, for example, where you do have individual people that work and you keep track of them. But overall, city builders are a lot more about heavy resource management and perhaps strategic city layouts like city skylines or something like that, where population is just a number. As far as being able to just get to know one of your residents and keep track of them and have that sort of a chill, peaceful experience where you can role play in your, in your game. I think that's missing overall, but this game seems like it's trying to do that, and I respect that a lot. It's quite nice. Alright, so we need to build a farm now. Enough chat, enough talking about other games.
It looks like some newcomers will arrive soon, but there's no available housing. To see how many days are left until the next arrival, hover over the population icon at the top of your screen.
We need to place 25 vegetable crops. What is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. I think that's 25. Something like that. And assign a farmer. Crops will grow over time as long as at least one farmer is assigned to the farm. All crops die when winter arrives. Well, I understand that. That's how it is here in Montana, where I live. Crops always die in the wintertime. And Tony's about to get this farm being built, completed. I could speed up the game, but I also kind of feel like the purpose of the game is to be chill and peaceful. So I want to take some time. I didn't want to rush the game and just build as much as I can, as fast as I can. I want to take it in and just kind of consider the experience and see, what is this all about? Because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey to the destination. And isn't that true in life? We think about our mortality and how long we're going to live and all those different things that take up space in our mind. And quite often it's always all about what are we going to do with our life in the end. And we forget that in the end, the only thing that really matters is what we did with the time that we had. So we'll try to make the most of our time. Speaking of time, it's year 1, spring 22. So I think what that's telling us is it's year 1 and it's the 22nd day of the spring cycle. And I don't know how many days there are in spring. I think that it's kind of like, I want to say it's like 30 days in a season and then something like that. So it's sort of like a calendar date, but it's not really. Okay, so now we have a farm. We need to manage workers, so we'll assign an unemployed worker. We'll assign Joan Hilleth to work on the farm. We finished another objective, and now I need to build a lumber camp. Where's it at? Resource production, lumber camp. Right. With 292 coins, so we're doing just fine on money. The plus 21, we're gaining more money as we go. Let's see about... Alright, I have a great idea. We'll put the lumber camp right here because we have trees right there. Seems like a good idea. And build for 25 coins. It's a nice little sound it makes when you do something with money. That clinking sound, I like it. And it's raining. Nice, peaceful, cozy spring rain. And you can see the water droplets on the pathway there. It's really beautiful. I love the lighting effects. It feels so lively and vibrant and pleasant. And I know we haven't really done very much yet, but my goodness, it just feels so cozy and pleasant and peaceful. And I think that's amazing. I love the rain on the rooftops dropping off there and the way the grass and the little bushes and things move around. Super cool. All right, we got... oh, we don't have enough capacity. Maybe we need another house. Can we assign a woodcutter? Emma will be our woodcutter. And now we need to place 3 decorations. All right. Public outhouse. That seems like a good thing for us to have. Feel like that would be a good thing. Because it's no fun at all when you need to go to the bathroom, but you can't. And I'm not ashamed to say this. It's just the truth. Nobody wants to have to hold it. So we're gonna put the outhouse right there, I think. I have to figure out what direction is it facing. Okay, so the little moon there, that's the front, right? Yeah. And it's got a little bench on the side. All right, so there we go. Oh, look, we put an outhouse right there where the tree was. Cut down a tree. Didn't really mean to do that. All right. Do I want to plant a tree? Or do I want to... what other options are there? There's a bunch of different things. Tall arrow sign. Perhaps a large flower pot. And there's options. There's different colors of flowers. That's nice. Right out of the gate, there's a decent number of little decorations. I think that's nice. And I'm gonna add a little bit of road here. We've placed our decorations. Looks like our crops are starting to grow. Pumpkins, right? Yep, pumpkin. Now we need to reach a population milestone of Hamlet. So, I'll take a moment to comment on the music. The music is subtle, but dignified and pleasant. And it really suits the game very well. It's the kind of music that you could listen to for hours and not even notice that it's playing. But if you really take the time to listen to it, you'll find it's very beautiful. I like it. Then you have the farms, and it's very beautiful how the animations for the plants advance and grow. It's nice and satisfying the way the villagers chopping at the ground with the hoe. It's nice how the plants have a sense of progression as they grow from little plants to bigger plants. The pumpkins start to have their little yellow flowers, and it just feels quite organic. So let's build another house. I think that's probably what's holding us back because our population is 6 of 6. And we have here newcomers coming in 3 days. And I don't think we can accept newcomers if we don't have housing for them. So that's why it's important for us to finish this house now. This little box here is a little bit reminiscent of city skylines. You have a little tile to build on, and if you want to build out more, you're going to have to buy it. I don't know how to buy another tile yet. And here's another thing that I think is very nice. We have a good field of vision here. It's able to kind of zoom out quite a distance, and it's nice. I feel like the zoom distance is ideal. Very good. And so far, I don't have any sense of anything negative to say about the game. I even would go so far as to say another thing. Very nice touch. I'm extremely pleased that I can move my mouse outside of the window to the adjacent screen, and it doesn't impact the game at all. No disruption, and a seamless, borderless windowed mode. I like that a lot. So how do I accept them? Not enough capacity. Okay. So that's because this house we're building is not yet built. But it will be built in just a moment. And now we can accept those new visitors. The animations are all so very smooth. I think it's very well done. Even when you're watching something be built, you can see each individual beam put up, so it feels real because you can see each piece of the sort of chubby, cute buildings being constructed, and that little green line that goes across there to show you how much is left to be built just looks very nice. This game does not require a lot of space. It's only about I think it's 2 gigabytes of space, something like that. That's amazing that a game that looks so beautiful can take a rather small amount of space on your computer. And maybe there's something to be said for the fact that some games might be a bit bloated when you factor in the fact they're so very large. I wonder what population do we have to be a hamlet? Next milestone, hamlet, is 10. So we need 2 more people to be a hamlet, which means we need another house. My understanding of roads would be that the Fablings enjoy traveling on the road, but that doesn't mean they won't go somewhere if they have to walk across the grass. So that's also a nice touch. It doesn't require all the agents to be bound to the roads. They just prefer the roads, which is rather true to life. Now, our green pumpkins are starting to show up, and a few of them are starting to turn into nice, plump, golden pumpkins. And there they are. They sort of just bloom into existence. Quite lovely indeed. Let's see if we can... Yep, we can assign another person to the farm. Imagine we should farm as much as possible. Day 10 of year 1 in summer. So we need to make sure our pumpkins are harvested before winter comes. Farm produces vegetables. We have about 70 days of food remaining. So I wonder if do we need to build a granary or something to hold the food that we gather? Right there. Stockpile stores industrial resources in attached lots. So once we reach the hamlet level, we can build a granary, which provides food storage. We'll need that before winter time. These little things in the yard are there to add happiness to the household residents, or do they provide food or anything like that? Nope. So all those attachments are happiness attachments. So they don't produce food or anything like that, but they do produce happiness. So I think the general idea is the larger the yard is, the more happiness you'll generate in the home. Newcomers come in one day. I think a sign of success in a game is if you can release it, as the devs for this game have, in early access, and you can play that early access release.
It seems you got a letter from a secret admirer. Odd. Well, I suppose there's no accounting for taste. Just joshing. You can open it by clicking the letter icon at the top center of your screen. You will let me know if there's anything good. I don't get out much anymore.
Oh, well, that's interesting. But anyway, I was just saying, if you can produce a game in early access as the devs have, and when a new player plays that game, it feels truly engaging and special and fun. From the very first moment of the loading screen and through the very first part of the early game. That's the first thing that I think is a great sign of a game that's excellent. Because if you have to play the game for a while before you start to feel like it gets good, then it's probably not that good. Even if it is good on paper, do you really get a sense of joy out of it? And I have to say, first 30 minutes in Fabledom, and I feel right at home. I feel like it's elegant, it's beautiful, and it's captivating. And that's a huge shout out to the devs right there. The UI is so smooth and polished. It feels intuitive, it feels clean. And up to this point, I don't see anything that gives me cause to criticize the game at all. Goodness gracious! We already managed to find enough Fablings brave enough to trust us with their livelihood to call ourselves a hamlet. Going forward, your family will expect recurring payments of 5 coin to the family fund. Our goal now is to collect 200 coin in taxes, and we've unlocked the granary. Let's build a granary right now. It's going to go right here. And then we'll build another road out like that. Some storage buildings have a dynamic storage. Use the checkboxes to control which resources can be stored. That's nice. So one thing that I will say I've noticed, and this is actually a similar thing to Foundation. When you build a storage lot, by nature, the game will pick all items as being toggled on. And if you wanted to say, for example, only store vegetables here, you'd have to uncheck all of those boxes other than the one that's for vegetables. And I think what would be nice is if there's an extra button to disable all but one or all, and then you wouldn't have to like manually click each one. You just unselect all. But that's just a very small nitpick. It is a nitpick though that I had made of Foundation too, because it's the same story there. Select a lumber camp to build a forester, build a stone camp, build a stockpile. Lumber camp, attachments, and forester. The forester plants new trees after one has been cut down. Uses the attached lumber camps area. Replants trees. Upkeep of 5 coin. That's nice. I will also take a moment to add that I'm a big fan of being able to reforest, because Age of Empires being a good example. Of course, it's a totally different genre, and I get why it is, but some of those games where you chop down the trees and they're just gone for the rest of the game, it eliminates the replayability. You're only going to play so long. The match has to end because your resources are finite. But here we can continually replant trees, and that's quite nice. Now we need a stone camp. Oh, well, before I do that, let's check out this letter. Letter received from Agnes. Well, hello, Agnes. Dearest Prince, my sun and spring, such a splendid land this is, undulating hills and wide fertile plains. It is the dream of our ancestors. I wish to make this land into a paradise, but I cannot do it on my own. Your dashing countenance is already the talk of this land. Shall we mate? Agnes, the Harvest Princess. How very nice and intriguing. Now, perhaps one day. But before that happens, we need to build a stone camp and a stockpile. Now, I think we have a stone deposit conveniently located right here, and a smaller one right here. So, it stands to reason our stone camp would be there. Some buildings need to connect to a resource to function. Connect the stone camp to a small stone deposit. Now that's a big building, isn't it? Okay. So it overlaps. So if I put it there, will that work? I think it will. Should do just fine. And then we'll make a stockpile. And we're just going to put the stockpile right here. And that'll be the end of the street. And then we'll build the lot. To 3. There we go. And we have 2 more visitors. We now have 12 citizens here. So we'll build 1 more house for them. I suppose that I ought to take a moment to see how we're doing on food. If we click on the farm, can we tell how much food is gathered? Not 100% certain. But we do have 3 people now assigned to work on the farm. I think what we're going to do is we're going to build a second farm right here, because it would be a good idea for us to be better safe than sorry for the feed situation. I do want to see is there a limit to how much field space you can have around the farm? And I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, total of up to 40. So there we go. We can have up to 40. So I imagine, there we go. That's what it is. That's the size you can have. So how do we assign this farm? This farm lets us manage workers. That farm doesn't, and the reason is because it hasn't been built yet. We can't. Okay, so it's a blueprint. That's it's highlighted light, white-ish, because it's not really been built yet, and we don't have enough gold yet to build it. So that's just a pending goal to build that farm as soon as we can. And then we need to select a fabling using the overview menu. Open the overview menu using the button at the bottom of the screen. Try the different actions available in the list of fablings. Here we have it. The overview tool is a great tool for managing your realm as it starts to grow. From here, you can get an overview of your fablings, workplaces, and more. Switch between tabs to see more information. Population, workplaces, finances, history log, population. We can sort them by name, by need, profession, status. We can select or locate them. We can follow them. I guess that one is inside its house. Now we can assign a fabling to a workplace using the overview menu. We'll send Richard to the granary, and we'll send Ralph to the stone camp. That's good. I like it. We can see everyone's happiness here. So I think we can safely confirm that it's not possible to rename your villagers. And that's a positive and a negative all in one, because on one hand, it's nice to be able to rename people. I love it that you can in Foundation. I think that's something special about that game. But then I also like just not doing that, because when you start messing with people's names and things, sometimes you can sort of go down that rabbit hole of modifying things. And it's nicer just to kind of imagine if these were real people, you wouldn't pick their name when they come to town. You would just let them be the people that they are, and then you'd accept them that way. So I think it's nice enough to not have any renaming functions, though I will point out that they do seem to be missing. Not that I really mind a great deal. We are storing up to 50 vegetables in the granary. Now we need to produce 15 coal with a coal maker. So I guess that would be under resource production, probably. There it is. Coal can be used to help warm houses and fuel productions. It's a -5 to desirability. So we need to build that away from people's houses, and then this little box shows us where how that'll affect our desirability all in all. So what I'm thinking here now is we'll click on territories, because the game is telling us that we're now able to buy a second piece of land. So we're going to buy this piece of land for 100 coins. And we win another 50 coins for buying a piece of land. That's great. The game's teaching us how to play beautifully, and then also rewarding us for learning. I like that. So we're going to put the coal maker there. Because I want it to be a bit away from people's houses. Now we can build an inn to bring joy. Some buildings have a positive effect on desirability, indicated by a green shape. Try to place these close to housing. Makes a lot of sense. I think our inn should be, you know what? We put it right there. I think we'll put it right there. Now, it doesn't cover that one house, but that's all right, because as our town expands, that'll be a good location for our inn to be in. We'll build a extension of the path. Another major difference between Foundation and Fabledom is that Fabledom opts for a square grid, while Foundation prides itself on having a gridless construction system. And on one hand, I would say Foundation wins that round, but I also think that because of the art style and because of the level of simplicity that a grid-based system adds, there's no way to say that Fabledom's style is inferior in any way. In some ways, it's actually superior because instead of spending time trying to figure out where I want my paths to be or something, I really feel like I have total control over the planning of this little town. So I would chalk that up to some differences that are significant enough to be worth mentioning, but not really that one game is better than the other. It's really more just that those are factors that are distinctive. I think it's important too that new games do things differently enough from other games to be familiar but distinctive, and that's something Fabledom seems to be doing a wonderful job at. Our inn is being built. Now, why is our farm not being built? Ah, because we don't have enough coin and we have to actually click build.
Ah, the trusted village inn. Oh, a personal favorite. I've got some stories for later. Anyway, the inn adds happiness to its surroundings. The happier your kingdom is, the more newcomers it will attract.
So we have 2 visitors that want to stay. We only have 1 housing spot for them, so time for another homestead. We seem to have enough food. The one thing that I would point out at this moment is it feels like it's kind of hard to know how we're doing for food production. For example, over in coin, it tells us what our income is and breaks it down. But under vegetable, it doesn't really say how much more we're gathering. Like, what is our level of consumption and what is our level of surplus? It doesn't really say that. It says what our surplus is, but it doesn't say how much extra we're accumulating per period. And I don't know if that's going to be a feature that comes later, or if maybe I just am missing it. It's totally possible. There we have a little button up there for feedback and bugs. Very nice. Another thing that's really a cool camera feature is that there's just a little bit of a sort of a fading fisheye kind of effect. So toward the edge of the screen, there's just a little bit of distortion that makes you focus on the middle part of the screen instead of the edges, which is pretty cool. And I notice when you click the ground, something actually happens. Just a little bit of a rocks bouncing effect. That's a nice touch. It's always nice to see that in addition to doing what's needed, the devs have done a few extra things that are just purely creativity in action, not really anything necessary at all to the game. Just something that makes the game better, like being able to click the ground and see rocks bounce up. We need to assign an innkeeper, and there we are. That will help everyone be happier. The game is auto-saving. Glad to see there is an auto-save feature. Nothing worse than playing, you forget to save, and then the game crashes and you lose all your progress. Have to start over from the beginning. We need to produce 15 coal in the coal maker. We have Emma assigned to that building. And she's on her way there with some wood, it looks like. She's going to the cart here to get wood, isn't she? Yeah. I assume soon this cart will disappear because it's almost empty. Our next goal is to reach the milestone of small village. We just need 2 more people to do that. So we'll build another homestead. We've unlocked some new decorations. A circular table. It's nice. Welcomed 2 more guests. Reached a milestone. We've unlocked the Messengers Guild, the Sawmill, wheat crops, nobility. can be used as a currency for special actions and items. It also influences some interactions with other rulers. We receive 75 coin. So we just need to produce 15 coal. We've produced 1 so far. And that is our first hour of playtime here in the beautiful world of Fabledom. We've built our little village and all things seem to be well. It is another rainy day in the fall of year 1. We do seem to have plenty of food on hand. I do have a little concern. Hopefully it's enough. And as soon as possible, we need to build the second farm, which we do have money for. I don't want our fablings to become hungry. Here we have some homesteads that appear to be out of range of the well. So as soon as we can, I guess in 4 days, we'll build another well. We're missing a water resource in this area. Second farm is being built. We have 2 fablings to assign to the farm. That's good. Payment in 1 day. So we'll be able to build our well here shortly. I do have some concerns that our farmers are planting crops in the fall. Working at a comfortable pace. Now it's winter time. World event. Secret Santa needs your attention. Prince Howard Raccoon. Secret Santa. What a childish game. It is below me and my stature. Unfortunately for you, I wasn't given any instructions, so enjoy this. You deserve it. It's a gift of 35 coal. This gift will be put inside a coffert that you can place somewhere in your realm. Well, how nice. We'll put it right there. That's nice. We have coal just in time for winter. a few workers coming over here to bring the supplies for building a well. Looks like in the wintertime, the farmers, they don't have any fields to tend, so they just sit around. There they are, all sitting on their little chairs, enjoying the peacefulness of a winter which requires no work because they're just going to live off of their stored up food until springtime. That's a lesson for you right there. If you put away extra food in the summer, you don't have to worry about hunger in the wintertime. So it stands as a great lesson to all of us. Prepare. As they say, make hay when the sun shines. That is a saying. Take a look at our overview menu under workplaces, and we need to get someone assigned to the stockpile. I think we're going to remove John from the farm and send her over to the stockpile, because I don't want to have any buildings that aren't functioning at all. Rather have them be a bit understaffed than have them shut down entirely. There we have another well built, which means our houses are not thirsty anymore. And we have a house here missing coal. Now that we have someone assigned to the stockpile, we should be able to operate it, which will help us with the coal production. Just 4 more coal and another quest will be completed. Coal making quest. Turning wood into coal. Now the cart is gone. Our initial supply cart is gone. So we can expand our farm just a bit. It's a nice little town we have built here. Very cozy indeed. I wouldn't mind living there. You spend your time doing small, happy tasks with good company. What better place could there be for living? That does seem like a rather good place to leave off this story for today. Until next time. And 1 hour and 9 minutes into the game. I think it's a really wonderful experience, and I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to play this game for quite a few hours to come. Till next time, for the glory of the Raccoon Republic, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Goodbye now.